Hi everybody, happy Wicked Wednesday and welcome to Shivers. With Labor Day weekend just passing us by, that's always my sign that it is officially fall, even if it's 100 degrees outside. There's nothing better than kicking back with a pumpkin candle, a soft blanket, and a good old horror movie to kick off the season. That being said, today we're talking about the best fall movies to kick off spooky season. Some for the whole family, some not so much. All my choices. In very first place, I will recommend it time and time again, is the movie Trick or Treat from 2009. I have a tattoo of Sam, which is the holder of all Halloween rules, and Trick or Treat is really this anthology movie. We start with one story and we branch off into 4 stories, and they're all connected by having these happenings going on Halloween night. Sam is this little pumpkin creature that really is what ties all of these stories together by withholding the power of Halloween itself, making sure that everyone's following the rules, checking their candy, making sure that all of the people and pumpkins are safe, different things like that. But Trick or Treat is not necessarily a family movie, but it's a good first step into a horror movie. And again, it happens on Halloween night, so the scenes are awesome. The people are in costumes, the leaves are fallen all over the ground, the pumpkins are carved and lit. Everything is very fun and festive. And again, Sam is so cute, you can't help but not to love him. So I will always recommend Trick or Treat. This was created as a comic book a couple of years ago as well. So if you're into more reading than you are into movies, then check that out too. Next on the list is kind of in the same vein. It is Monster House from 2006. This is going to be more of the family-friendly version of Trick or Treat, but is very much a scene-setting movie nonetheless. You have an entirely animated cast. You have animated leaves falling from trees, beautiful cinematography, and a good old creepy house that really sums everything up. It's also just a really great movie for kids to know how to not judge people, embrace people with compassion, treat people with kindness, if you will. And it's just a really beautiful movie. I love Monster House. I think it's very nostalgic to watch it now as well, being from 2006 and seeing some of the actual animation from there too. But Monster House is a great pick for fall. Moving on a little bit older, we have Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. These are also books. They started out as books, and I read them back when I was in middle school, so many years ago. And they picked a few of the stories from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and made them into a movie in 2019. This is a great way of bridging that gap between summer fun and some of the more campy slasher scares, bringing them into fall and turning them into real horror movie criteria, along with another haunted house too. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is considered a teen horror movie. It's a stepping stone above something like Hocus Pocus and something before Halloween itself. But Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I think, is a great bridging of the gap between the seasons as well. And is of course great for just good old campfire stories too. Next on the list is Ghostbusters, the original from 1984. This is very much about the fall season, about ghosts. It doesn't have too much of an emphasis on Halloween itself. Not everyone is dressed up in costumes, not everything is about Halloween, but it's more about the actual ghosts and how to hunt ghosts in the city of New York City, and just everything that goes on with that. It's a very fun movie. It is a family-friendly movie. It's one of the first family-friendly horror movies that has ever been created. And there's been a number of installations after that as well. There's Ghostbusters from 2016, which is more of a comedy, Ghostbusters Afterlife from 2021, and a new Ghostbusters coming out in 2024. So it's a series that is probably never going to die, but is great fun for the whole family. Moving on to something a little bit different. I always like to bridge the gap between summer and fall with some more thrillers as opposed to just straight up horror movies. So I always love watching the Sherlock Holmes films from 2009 and the more recent murder mystery type of movies like Knives Out and Glass Onion from 2019 and 2022. These are truly whodunit movies. What's going on? What's the whole story? The thriller, the excitement, the action. It's very fun. It's good for the whole family. But they're interesting and they make you pay attention. They make you think and they make you really feel like you're part of the story itself. Same type of feeling that I've mentioned before when it comes to the supermassive games of Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology. These are video games that feel like movies, but you are choosing your own adventure. You're making these characters your own. You're making decisions for them. You are deciding who lives and who dies at the hands of whatever is going on. And there's a much bigger story that's at play than just what's going on with these characters. Why I love these games so much is because you feel like you are inside of a murder mystery, particularly with the most recent one of the Murder Castle Hotel, the horror hotel. The video game is called The Devil in Me, and it is based off of H.H. Holmes and the Horror Castle Horror Hotel from back in the day, and it's just a great way of kind of feeling like you're in a murder mystery. So that's why these movies are great fun to watch as well, is because they really do elicit that same feeling. You are trying to figure it out at the same time that the characters are trying to figure it out. And I think that that's just some good fun. And the most scary on our list, moving on, we have House of a Thousand Corpses and the movie 31. These are two Rob Zombie films. I enjoy Rob Zombie films as this sort of bridge between summer and fall. You have this summertime heat, feeling like you're going camping, feeling like you're going on a road trip, that very vacation-y feel, but then something going awry and then breaking down and turning it into an actual horror movie. A lot of his movies really focus on this theme of people breaking down and needing to go to find a house, people breaking down and venturing off into the next town. And he made that very purposeful and said in an interview that is because when he was in his band and doing all of these different tours across the United States, it would be very eerie to say what would happen if our bus broke down right here in the middle of nowhere. What would happen? So they're all based off of his sort of real fears. But 31 is a movie from 2016. I love it. It is very campy. It's about these carnival people that are basically fighting to the death. And House of a Thousand Corpses is from 2003. It's one of his first movies, if not his actual first movie that he ever created. Very creepy, very gory, definitely not family friendly, but I love them as ways of really diving a little bit deeper into the fall season, the slasher season, the horror season. And a couple of honorable mentions. Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, Don't Look Under the Bed, the Goosebumps TV shows. These are all very family-friendly eras of fall, and the scenery, you feel like you are cold just by watching these leaves fall and these people in their sweatshirts and sweaters. It's great, and it really makes it feel like it's not 100 degrees outside. So it's awesome. But that is really it for our list today. Thank you for listening to today's Wicked Wednesday. Enjoy the beginning of the autumn season by watching some nostalgic and scene-setting films. The Shivers Meetup page is up and running, so check out some of the virtual and in-person events. Even if you don't live in North Carolina, you are welcome to attend anything virtually. Some super exciting news as well. My book, Burn Her Down, is available on Amazon. The link is in the bio for all of my social medias, so go check out my book. Please read and share with your friends, and enjoy.